All right, so we're going to start off with surface area of the rectangular prism. But let's first talk about what surface area is and lateral area, because we're going to be finding both. So this capital S stands for surface area. Okay, so capital S equals surface area. And surface area is the area of all the sides added together. So we find the area of each individual side, so like we'd find the area of this one, and then we'd add it to the top one, and to the side one, and the other side one, and the back one, and the bottom one. So we find each of those areas and add them up together. Good news is we're given a quick little formula to help us out there. Whereas this L, that stands for lateral surface area. And if you look at the difference between the formulas, that matches. So the difference is this 2LW, which means that lateral area does not include the top or the bottom. So it does not include the top or the bottom. So lateral area is all sides, excluding, that's a D, excluding the base, aka the bottom, and the top. Okay, so again, we don't include the base or the top, so we don't include those bottom ones for lateral area. It's all of the side pieces. Okay, so that's the big difference here. On the quiz or on the knowledge check on Friday, I'm just going to ask you to find the surface area, but we are going to practice finding the lateral area. So just like, well, not just like before, this is new for you. So we're going to, well, not really, just like with finding the area of the basic shapes, where we always put the formula on line 1, and then we substituted the values, and then we put an answer with the label. So instead of just writing 1, 2, 3, we just write FSA. So that's the same thing. All right, so let's start off by just writing our formulas for surface and lateral area. So do that now. Okay, so now that we've written the formulas, we have to label our shape. So what's our length, our width, and our height? Okay, so our length is going to be this 4. Our width is going to be 7. And our height is going to be 5. The only one that really matters is this height. So it has to be the height of the prism, or how tall is that prism. Okay, so this one really matters. The other two, you could flip them around if you really wanted to. Okay, so the height is the only one that matters. The other two are pretty much the same. All right, so let's start plugging this into the formula. All right, so we have surface area equals 2. Okay, I'm going to start by putting these in parentheses. And we want to put each one in their own set of parentheses. Okay, so this is length times width. So we do our 4 times 7 in there. This is length times height. So we do 2 times length, which is 4, times the height, which is 5. And then the last one is width times height. So then we do 2 times the width, which is 7, times the height, which is 5. All right, and now let's plug that into our calculator. So again, I might separate these by parentheses in your calculator. So you should have 2 times 4 times 7 plus 2 times 4 times 5 plus 2 times 7 times 5. And when you do that, you should get 166. And then again, it's area, so it's inches cubed. I mean squared, inches squared. Oh, I wrote a 2 and said 3, sorry. Squared. Okay, so let's do lateral surface area now. So it's the same thing, we're just plugging it into the formula. So again, I might separate these two things by parentheses on my calculator. All right, so this is length times height. All right, so my length was 4 times my height, which is 5. And then don't forget about that 2 in the front that I forgot, times 2. We can't forget about that 2. And then the next one is width times height. Okay, so we do 2 times the width, which is 7, times the height, which is 5. And then throw that in your calculator. So you should have 2 times 4 times 5 plus 2 times 7 times 5. Make sure you type in the right stuff. I just made like 4 typos. And you should get that your lateral area is 110 inches squared. Again, squared because it's the area. Okay? So I think that you should be okay to do the next one on your own. But let's set you up first. Okay? If you are good and you want to dive in, you can hit pause and then just go through. But I'm just going to set it up first by writing the formulas. So surface area equals 2 length times width plus 2 length times height plus 2 width times height. Lateral is 2 length times height plus 2 width times height. The next thing is we're going to label our shape. Okay, we're going to say 20 is our length, 8 is our width. Again, those two could be interchanged. However, the one that matters is the height of the prism. So that's 16. And now you just plug and chug, okay? So pause and work through and then check your answers. All right, so hopefully you got 1,216 centimeters squared for surface area, and for lateral area, 896 centimeters squared. All right, so this was the easy one. So hopefully this was easy. Let's get to the tricky one on the back. Okay, so let's flip this over and go to the surface area of the triangular prism. All right, so we know the difference between surface area and lateral area. Okay, and here's some. We know S was surface area, and we know that L is lateral area because we talked about that in the last shape. Okay, so looking at these formulas, I'm going to be adding some here, but let's just talk about it. So to find the surface area of a triangular prism, you have to find the lateral area plus 2b. What's b? B is down here. It's the area of the triangle base. So just like before when there was a square base, there's going to be a triangular base. So pretty much we're finding, again, the lateral area, which is all of the sides of the rectangular sides, plus the 2 bases, because surface area is all the sides. So we'd have to find 2 of the triangles. So that's what this 2b means and this L means. Okay, but let's break it down some. We know the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And there's a 2 here because there's 1 triangle, 2 triangle bases. So let's simplify this a little bit further. Well, let's wait for that. Sorry. So now that we know what B is, we have to figure out what L is. What does that L mean? So here's this. It's P times H. Well, what does that mean? P is the perimeter of the base. Remember, perimeter, you add up all the sides. So you just add up the first side plus the second side plus the third side. Again, this is of the triangle. Okay, so perimeter, you just add them all up. And then the H is the height of the prism. Remember, we said how thick is that prism? And that's this one. This is the height of the prism. So that's what that H is. Okay. So let's plug this in for L. So that way we have a streamlined formula. So this is the formula I'm going to use for surface area. Surface area equals perimeter times height plus, if we do 2 times 1/2 there, don't those cancel out? They do. And they just leave us with base times height. But what I want to emphasize is that this is the base and the height of your triangle. Okay. So I might put that there just so I know. Okay, so that's the base and the height of my triangle, whereas this is of the prism. Okay, so now we spent a lot of time talking about the formulas. Let's dive in. Okay. So, same thing, FSA, except we just switched what sides they were on. So lateral surface area of a triangular prism is lateral equals perimeter times height. Surface area is perimeter times height plus base times height, but we want that of the triangle. Okay, so let's first find the lateral area. All right, so first we need to find the perimeter. Remember, it's perimeter of the triangle. The perimeter of the triangle is, the perimeter is 20. This is 20 plus 16 plus 12. 20 plus 16 plus 12. And then the height of the prism, how thick or how tall is that prism? So we multiply those numbers times 10. And that's our lateral area. So let's do that. Let's first add these all up. 20 plus 16 plus 12 is 48 times 10. And that gives us 480 centimeters squared. Okay, and I found the lateral area first because, remember, this pH is my lateral area. So now I don't have to write all that again. I could just write what it is, which is really handy. Okay, so let's find our surface area, which we said was our lateral area, which we says our lateral area was 480 plus, again, this is the base and the height of the triangle. The base of the triangle is 12, and the height of the triangle is 16. So this would be 12 times 16. So we have to add 480 plus 12 times 16. So 480 plus 12 times 16. Again, I'm going to make sure I put this 12 and the 16 in parentheses in my calculator, or it's not going to add it correctly. And when you do that, you should get 672 centimeters squared. All right, so hopefully that makes some sense. We're gonna do the next one together because this one's shaped a little weird. I will tell you that all of the ones on the knowledge check are gonna be shaped like this one. So they're all gonna be shaped like this one. Because I find this one a little easier to understand than the one above. Okay, so again, lateral area is perimeter times the height of the base of the prism, sorry. Surface area is lateral area plus base times height of the triangle. Okay, so let's focus on lateral area. It's the perimeter of the triangle. So the perimeter is 7 plus 2 plus 7. Okay, so we're going to add those up and times the height of the prism. Not the height of the triangle, the height of the prism. This is the height of the prism. How tall is that prism? Whereas the 6 is the height of the triangle. See how they're different? Okay, so let's do that. Let's do 7 plus 2 plus 7. That times 9. That's going to give me a lateral area of 144 centimeters squared. Okay, and again, to find our surface area, we can transpose our lateral area here, 144, plus base times height of my triangle. My base of my triangle is 2. The height of my triangle, which is this one, is the 6 now, times 6. So I do 144 plus 2 times 6, which tells me my surface area is 156 centimeters squared. Hopefully you got that. If you don't, please ask questions, okay?